So, I've been like slacking on a lot of stuff, especially uploads this month. But in my defense, FGO has been going pretty crazy in terms of like where my attention needs to go and what my computer can actually let me handle all at the same time. But we have a GSSR video to make today, and this one is just for NA. And then on New Year's Day, I will try to have that one uploaded on the same day. This one probably is just going to come out tomorrow for the sake of time. So fortunate that it's only given 2 days for the algorithm, but is what it is. All right, so NA 2026. This is what the GSSR is going to look like. It's not grouped by. Oh. Okay, this is. Yeah. Okay, so in other GSSRs, it's usually grouped by timing. But yes, so if you remember the last few GSSRs, and I can't remember if this was NA or just JP, they only started putting like the second half year characters into GSSRs, um, and not some of the older servants. So this GSSR does have the older servants. You can see part one servants like Da Vinci and Shuten. Uh, Separated into gender, right? Male, female, card type, AoE support, and single target. So, I'm not gonna go through every single character. That really is just gonna take too long. I'm just gonna go over like how I see the banners and like the value I see in it, and it's mostly going by like a percentage of like how good is this really for me or for someone else in general. Um, yeah, so I like because this is gonna have like my actual GSSR pick in it, and I'll be honest, I have not been paying attention to this, so truly, I'm probably gonna be making my decision like uh, through this video. All right, so let's start up here with quick. So Okita, Shisho, MHX, MHXA, and Melt. Well, I can tell you this: these three in particular are like fairly good right now. I think Heroine X out of these three is probably um, the clunkiest, but you like she still does fairly good damage against assassins for not being able to really get her niche off. I think unless they're Saberface. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Just gonna bring this up. Yeah, her super effective is on saber faces, um, but she gets a power mod against sabers. Um, so yeah, she is actually able to hit like full niche against berserkers, uh, berserker Artorias, and maid altar. So it's not like she doesn't actually have like a best case use, but it's not the best. She's crazy. Bring her. She's better than most archers. If you don't have a good single target archer, just use MHX. I fucking love Melt. Like one of my favorite characters to use for gameplay. If you don't have her, she's very useful, especially if you're fighting cavalry, especially casters. She wrecks casters shit because of her removing buffs. So a caster is going to spend a lot of time getting a lot of defense up, and she's just going to strip that. And I think with her buff, if I'm remembering the buff right, that's happening after before damage now. Yes, they buffed it to happen before damage. And they also made her so her buff was more damage and just making her effects happen before damage. But that buff's not out yet, but it will be out. So between Okita and Shisho is also getting a buff very soon in the next 6 months, and it makes her go fucking disgustingly bonkers in terms of damage. 3 turn 100% power mod for divine, and then 3 turn 100% power mod for undead. You can force people to be undead. And then Okita is here. I forget if she got a buff like super recently. Yeah, no, 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 she got this. Yeah, no, she just got this buffed. I remember. I remember this was recent. But I haven't really had a chance to mess around with Okita, even though I do have her like maxed out now on JP. Um, yeah, this buff definitely makes it easier for her, but it also kind of plays into kind of why I don't like Shikuchi, in the sense that like you, for this to work and you to actually like fully benefit from it, especially with this shit now, you're putting the MP first, and the MP isn't gonna get this part of the buff. I like, if I'm remembering my video right, like I think I did like at least praise it for like this is solidifying what you're actually supposed to do with Okita. Like you're not supposed to be trying to face card before the MP to make it do more damage. No, 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 no. Your MP is to break the guard, and then you follow up with crits. So overall, I think this is a really, really solid like single target banner. Is it like the absolute best? Are these all the best DPS characters? No, but they, all five of these really do stand out in their category. Okita kind of is the one that just falls like the shortest, but again, all four of these are like good. Here, I don't want to talk too much about Astolfo or Made Alter. Both of them are kind of clunky. Made Alter, you have to mess around with cooldown stuff, and Astolfo is just clunky to be clunky. These two, on the other hand, Kama, she's definitely going to be Grand Assassin. I got her twice this year off some bullshit, and I'm so happy for it because MP3 Kama, she literally stole Grand Assassin from someone else. It's definitely not going to be Grand Assassin mistake. Hoping to keep her out of that ascension. And then Tyra. I like Tyra gameplay. Tyra gameplay is really, really fun. If you can... Yeah, no, I just like Tyra gameplay. Her just being a solo servant and you knock her down and she just hits you really, really fucking hard. I love it. And her MP also strips buffs, just like Melt. So, again, more fun. And last over here, Bazette is here. That is enough said. Bazette still is the only character in the game that can kill the enemy on their turn. Like, and I also do like these two. Wangina, I haven't found a really good time to use her. But yeah, Bazette being here is kind of enough for someone to pull here. So in terms of this row, I would say 4 out of 5 servants are like, if you pull on here. Honestly, with Okita's buff, this is just a dub because, like, if you don't have the characters and you want them, like, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like between these four, you have like I think 10 to 15 different interludes and rake-ups. Like these, like, no joke, these three specifically are some of the most buff servants in the game. While a lot of other characters on this road do not have buffs. Or if they do, they only have like 1 or 2. Alright, moving on to the AoEs. So, this one is a lot harder for me to advocate for people to pull because, like, there isn't really cohesion. Yes, all 5 of these characters are AoE servants. She's a farmer. She's a farmer. She can be a farmer. These two are way, way heavier to focus on crit and or utility. I love Jacques de Molay. She's my one of my favorite characters to use for gameplay reasons. And yeah, like, so I'm gonna be biased if I suggest this one, but honestly, if you don't have Doman, if you have Doman, you really should be avoiding this one like the plague. If you don't have him, I think you should just wait for another time, because it's going on this specifically for Doman, that's a 1 in 5 chance, and that's just not... Any of these that are like 1 in 5, I would probably recommend you stay away from, because your odds of getting what you want just isn't good. It's just that here you have so many that are actually usable, um, that I can't say that same thing. But here their roles are just way too varied, to actually be happy with what you get. Cannot say that about this one though. This is the exact opposite. You get what you get on this one, and you don't get upset. Um, sorry. Oh my fucking god. Oh, I just said something from work. Yeah, sorry. Not trying to scold you guys like children, but that was. I hear that so much at work, and like honestly, for this one, it kind of fits. Brit, Q and Joe, and Sen no Rikyu. These three in particular all came out around the same time, and they were like they're all very similar in use cases, or not use cases. Actually, for the yeah, no, because all three of them you could use against riders, and you'd be doing different kinds of damage, but they would still be doing more damage than like pretty like say Okita Alter. Like all three of these would do way more damage against riders than her. And one of these is a Lancer, so like it's not even that it's just class advantage. It's also she has a super effective. And then you also have Ruler Scotty in here, and you literally can't. If you don't have her, then and you or you have a regular Scotty. Like if you're missing one of the Scotties, probably should go here. If you have Ruler Scotty, there you probably should avoid this, because like MP2 Ruler Scotty, um, unlocks her more as a DPS than a support. But she is one of those supports that can be main DPS if you really want her to be. I just don't use her as a main DPS. I treat her more as a support. But yeah, Rikyu really good. I like Hugh and Joe gameplay. The fact that it's an assassin with Invul Pierce built in is just very, very nice to me. Because there are a lot of riders that have Invul or can give Invul, and it's just like nice that an assassin can just deal with that shit. Britt, if you get her here, probably not going to be the happiest, but she did get a buff. And we'll be seeing that in the next year. All right, so that is quick females done. Now we're on to Art's single target. If you do not have Umu, I would definitely... Okay, so every single character here has been buffed, and all of them are kind of in a really good spot right now. If you don't have Umu, she is very good as like an extra support, just depending on the situation, especially for grand... So yeah, spoiler, I am going to be talking about grand battles for this, because Umu in particular is the best support saber out there, hands down. There are other servants that can kind of do something similar, and do support, like Beniyama is an example of that. But Umu, just like for quick and arts, you should be using Umu for grand battles against Musashi. That is a single target fight. You're going to want to be able to spam your MP as much as possible, and Umu really helps you do that, because she has a targeted battery and MP gain, and other buffs, but you can't really use the Sky attribute. Yeah, no. There's no way Musashi's Sky. She's Earth or human. She's not Sky. Man, yep. But yeah, Benny she's fun. She got buffed to have a 30 battery, and does like sub DPS support. Squirtoria kind of just goes vroom. You use her for single target fights, and like you do not have to do much to keep her spamming her MP. Like she, out of pretty much any single target servant out there, she's like the one character that can pretty much loop against anything. Yang Guifei, like this character too, especially after her buffs that just made her like way better. But she's still a foreigner. If you're dealing with someone that's immune to burn or debuff immune, you're shit out of luck. But you could say the same thing about Jacques de Molay. So I don't really take that as like something super negative. It's just more like, why are you trying to use a debuff focused character when the enemy is debuff immune? It's like, Is that a slight against the character? Oh, this debuffer has problems against a character that's immune to debuffing. It's like, yeah, I would assume so. A debuffer that can just neg debuff immunity kind of breaks the game, doesn't it? It'd be really stupid if you had characters that could do that. All right, misclick. Moving on. So I actually talked to someone about this in chat earlier today. So we're just going to talk about both of these two together because they were asking about Berserker Castoria versus Castoria. Like, which banner should you really go for? I do think these two are, in particular, are going to be, like, high demand because these two are, like, top of their class, essentially. Like, she is one of the best single-target DPSs. You bring her to fight the hardest shit in the game, and she claps it. And she's so heavily buffed that you could genuinely, like, I don't recommend it, but you can actually use her against a lot of foreigners because of her super effective damage. And she has enough buffs, because a lot of them are also chaotic, too. It's like Threat to Humanity plus chaotic. And that just, like, that is literally foreigners. Yeah, Threat to Humanity as the super effective, chaotic and divinity for power mods. It's like you can use this against foreigners that fit these niches and still do like respectable damage, which is far more than you could say about any other character going that class disadvantage. Uesugi Kenshin, enough said, like literally just buff strip spamming. And like she refunds literally like Castoria. Her refund is so stupid. Is it like especially face cards? Like she goes zooming. She goes zooming on crits. Trunk Sisters, they are good as sub DPS for arts teams. Like if you are gonna be doing like swapping out Castoria for an Oberon instead of doing double Castoria, much like the 90++ event going on right. Yeah, sorry, the 90++ lotto going on NA right now. Someone like Trong Sisters would be good for a setup like that, where it's like 3-1-1, because she can make the AoE just do their job better. Melisyn is Melisyn. Enough said. Even all this time, however, the gap for Melisyn has significantly closed over time. Like especially with if you're gonna go the hyper buffing setup for Buster, which is like Double Vitch, Oberon, Liz of the End, and Kuro. The amount of damage she does in comparison to other teams using that same setup, it's not nearly as big as it used to be. However, that setup requires such heavy cost that for a lot of people it's just not worth it. If you're trying to just Buster farm, get the damage with Double Vitch Oberon and still run like good Bond CEs in the backline, yeah, Melisyn is still like on top of that. But if you're trying to use others Lancers for farming and you can actually do the farming with them, I would, especially if you have Vitch, Oberon, and the other two like at Bond 15, like you're not Bond farming them anymore. You're just Bond farming the DPS. So like the extra Bond Cs really don't matter that much. If especially for characters that doesn't work on. Like Gilgamesh literally just got his first Bond CE with the Chaldean because before that he couldn't use any other CEs because nothing worked for Chaotic Good or nothing worked for him. So yeah, and then moving on to here, this is gonna be a lot shorter. If you don't have these three, you're not gonna be disappointed if you get any of them. If you already have Scotty, desire goes down a lot because while I do think getting MP2 for a lot of supports is worth it, you probably aren't going to be happy with it, even if it is a good thing. Like MP, and I've said this before, like MP2 for supports isn't about them getting more effects. It's about making it so if they get drained, that you aren't screwed with your MP. Like they can go to 120, 130% somehow from getting hit, then they get drained. They don't go down to 80 because they get drained 20%. They're still above 100 and you could still MP. And it can honestly just save runs. Kishi Wong, I really do think he needs a buff. Like, give him stars per turn, and then this guy's going to be a monster. Like, 20 stars per turn or stars on his MP, and then this guy is cooking with fucking fire. All right, moving on. If you don't have Van Gogh and you like foreigners, you're pulling on this banner because this is a really easy, like, this is the best chance out of all the banners so far to actually get what you want. It's Miss Crane, Van Gogh, and Lady Avalon, and if you have foreigners but don't have Van Gogh, this almost becomes must summon. Lady Avalon is conditionally good, but me personally, I like her more at MP2 because like her MP effects does scale with the MP levels, and if you're trying to use her in place of a Castoria, the extra MP levels are actually going to affect you because that's that 2.5%. That does matter when you're arts farming, especially if you're starting from 0. Like that little bit does make a difference. And Miss Crane, right now it's kind of hard to use her because how it is in FGO, if you're not breaking a bar but you clear the wave, any MPs after like can't pop. This also nerfs Tamamo because you can't do her MP at the end of an AoE at the end of a wave, because then you would be able to do a lot more cooldown reduction stuff with arts, but then this the breaks. Same thing with Miss Crane. If you kill everyone in the wave, you can't use the support MP like this. So she is pretty much relegated to challenge quests and break bars, but even right now, we're seeing Liz of the End, Kuro, that kind of do the shifting, like party manipulation, and just do it a lot easier. The only way to really fix her is to like if you pop an MP and there's a support MP and there's no enemies, to let you actually do it. That's the only way you can actually buff her, and that's a game-wide buff, not specific for Miss Crane, unless they do actually make it specific for Miss Crane, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people would still be salty and want that to be for everyone.
I am now doing monthly $5 giveaways as a way to give back to my channel. I recently hit 500 subs and I want to keep giving back to the people that support me. All you have to do is comment on one of my videos during the month. Doesn't even have to be a video I make that month, and you are entered to win. 5 people can win every month with 1 win per person per month. Only 1 comment is counted as an entry every month. I will send you the prize in a way that works for both of us. Thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the video.
All right, this one is honestly like you are pulling on here because you want the Horny Nun, or you're fulfilling your collection, because these two specifically aren't in great states. Like she's doing better as a sub DPS. Kiara is doing better with her animation update plus the other buffs. But even MP1 Kiara is still lackluster. Shiki did get buffed and she could Black Rail loop now, but her margin of error is like really high. She has a very high margin of error in terms of what she can actually loop. All right, I'm gonna try to keep going through this faster because I do wanna try out my new vape pretty soon. All right, next one. This is looping special. If you need just a generic looper to get you through like a lot of early game, a lot of mindless farming, 1, 2, 3 are gonna do the job extremely well. Musashi is like one of the like, if you're able to loop from 0, Musashi is like really really good. Like if you know your refund, like, so Musashi, the more you know what you're doing, the better you can use her over like a Buki over here that literally just doesn't give a fuck. Like Buki just loops because she loops, and you just win because you win. Stall teams, Da Vinci Rider like really keeps up. Castoria's MP, Tamamo, Reigns, having super high uptime on those MPs and just spam chaining. Specifically with Tamamo, like there is also that synergy where like you can relatively easily have like very low downtime on her skills, and just because her MP also refunds to the party like Tamamo, you can definitely have Tamamo like spamming her MP a lot more. But you do have to kind of finagle that just a little bit for like who you actually want to go first. And that also kind of depends on like what face cards you have, because there are cases where you actually might want to. No, you'd always want Tomo last. You'd always want her last. But if you aren't doing 3 MPs, if you have Tomo Arts card, you're probably popping that after her MP to just facilitate more MP spam. Murasaki, I really don't have that much of an opinion on her just because I don't have her on any account. Like just going through this right now, these two banners are actually the ones that have highest priority for me on NA, because I'm pretty sure I have almost every single character that is here on that account, with some exceptions. Like some are just on JP, but most of these characters are on NA. So for me, this is like almost high priority because I don't have DaVinci Rider or Murasaki on this account, but I kind of don't want MP4 Musashi. Because MP4 Musashi pretty much guarantees that she's Grand Berserker. And I don't know if I want to make that commitment just yet. All right. So this one you're probably going to avoid. Space Ishtar has needed a buff for a while, and she has not gotten it. But the whole game was once balanced around this character. Like, she was the de facto character everyone used for loop farming. And now she's just kind of fallen behind because a lot of characters can just do what she did, but just better. Summer Kama, a little clunky, but not the worst. I love Summer Kiara. Like, love this character for gameplay, but like most people are not gonna want to use her for CQ stuff. They're gonna want to use her for loop farming, and she is not that good at loop farming in comparison to, like, most other characters. Bakin, sub DPS, but the AoE arts riders, that is very stiff competition. All right, last of the arts females, Ibuki and Melisson. These two specifically, people are just gonna pull on this for these two. Popus Johanna is another one of those tertiary supports, like Lady Avalon. Like, she's not your first pick, but it also depends on the deck. If you're using triple arts, you probably do want to bring Popus Johanna because she actually lets arts crit do a lot of damage, and consistently crit. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see your message, Karna. Because I am reading messages for this recording. Give Berserker Friend a debuff. Yeah, no, the same thing that Tomo Cat needs to actually function. Yeah, Kiara, Alter Ego, and Summer Kiara, especially Summer Kiara, because you basically have to be fighting rulers to, like, see her get negative benefits, but you really don't fight rulers that often. Like, we get OC3 before, I mean OC2 before OC4, but at the same time, like, you're incentivized to use Avengers in that one. But yeah, no, Summer Kiara, great for stall content, especially if you can reduce cooldowns too. Durga over here, she can loop like crazy, and that rainbow buff works well with Yui Shosetsu, but these two aren't that different. They're really not that different. You would use them in similar places. It's kind of just like you have to be okay, kind of just be okay with it. Like if you don't get these two, like if you get one of these two, like you have to be okay with it. Otherwise, probably don't recommend summoning on this banner. This one is a hard sell for people. These two are for waifu reasons. I'm not gonna say why someone would want to summon for Ilya besides just having an Ilya. And then Britain is a Yandere. But these two are kind of interchangeable right now, especially because Tamamo needs a fucking MP buff. She has needed an MP buff for a while. Her super effective damage is base damage for most buffed MPs. What are we doing at this point? Jolter is gonna get her Buster buff soon, in the next 3-4 months. Actually, I forgot. No. I forgot when it actually launches. If it's February or March. I think it actually is February, so we're like 2 months away from it, honestly. Over here, Abby got buffed, and Abby and Jolter kind of can be used interchangeably. For what Abby's buff actually gave her, for multi-core shit. So I don't like Abby like base kit, but like Abby now in like actual setups with everything maxed out, because again, Buster, most expensive card type for doing setups because you need everything maxed out, otherwise it doesn't work. But yeah, don't sleep on Abby anymore. Himiko, tertiary support, whether you need her or not, that's up to you. She still you can still use her in setups. My trauma with Super Bunyan is gone now. I don't have the same trauma I used to, but I don't have her on NA. It's stuck on JP, and when I go for the MP5, I don't know. But Musashi's here. Musashi's great, but Musashi is still a little hard to use. She gets better with her buff, but I could have sworn she actually already has it now. Because I know Berserker Musashi is about to get her MP buff like next month, but I'm pretty sure she's still unbuffed right now. Besides that, all right. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. No, I gotta get this taken care of before checking that message, because I'm gonna get distracted. All right. This is a very, very mixed bag. Because I like Raiko, but she's not the best in her category. But she's not the worst either. She kind of has it, so with her... Yeah, like this skill is basically what Shisho's got, what Shisho got, but just better for farming. Basically, with her and Double Vitch, you have 100% power mod against all of the major attributes, like all three of them, Earth, Sky, and Man attribute, all three of them, you're going to have 100% power mod. So it's not going to matter, like, who you're fighting. She's basically just going to be do the same damage, like, super, super consistently. Ishtar, with her most recent buff, does like some CL type shit by like really manipulating card order and being able to just crit whenever you want. So she still needs her charisma buff, but that was one hell of a fucking buff to give her. Aresh, I like her, but she's a little more defensive than some people would want. So this is just a fan service one. Like, we kind of... Cleo is, like, the only one here that's technically not fan service. But, like, she's a JoJo's reference. She is a literal JoJo's reference. And that elevates her enough... Like, almost elevates her into that category. And then Umu is able to, like, do Black Rail looping now with Pen 5 and the other kind of setup. Is she going to be beating out Kucaster in terms of, like, party costs? No. But if you're looking for damage, she's going to bring damage. Just I don't think, and she's also easier to use than Tonalico. Tonalico, like over here, is a lot significantly harder to actually use. We're pretty much gonna be skipping this when we come back here. Oh, BB is the only one that kind of elevates this. I like a lot of these characters. Current state of the game, I would not recommend summoning for these over here. This one is just too risky at the 1 out of 5. If you want one of these characters, I would just wait for a better time because this is just not, you're not going to be happy. All 5 of these characters have 2 different roles, like they're just too different for you to be happy getting any one of them. Like if you pull for BB as a support, but you get Semiramis, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to summit your monitor. Just saying, because she is. I forgot if she's gotten buffed again recently. Yes, no, she did get this, but she still has other problems that came with it. There's still some other problems with Semiramis. She's a lot better than she used to be, but she's still not where she needs to be. So yeah, we're gonna move on. Ibuki, Romulus Corinius, Bunny Toria, Summer Abigail. I have been saying that Summer Abigail would function better if her third skill was targeted. I think this character would actually go fucking nuts in setups if that was possible. As a substitute for Oberon, if the character doesn't really specifically if they're actually able to overcap on MP damage to the point that Oberon doubling the skill is not going to help you. Gaetia, he's one of those characters that if you run him with Black Rail, you will hit the cap. You will hit that cap very, very, very quickly. Especially if you're using Black Rail. It does require Oberon to hit the cap, but like he also has a lot of power mods going into it too. That you're going to start seeing diminishing returns. But yeah, like you don't see defense down that much in your buster farming supports. That's why I'm like bringing it up, because at a certain point, like making your making a number go up is not going to be as impactful as adding another number when you're talking about multiplication. Like you always want more numbers to get a bigger number than having 2 small numbers and 1 super big number, because it's not going to be that little changes, little buffs aren't going to affect the number that much. But if you have 4 numbers that are all around the same size, your damage is going to go up even from like just one of them changing a little bit. But I can't advocate for a character that doesn't exist right now. Ibuki, she needs a buff. She needs her first skill fixed. Like, love Ibuki Doji, not that Ascension. Oh, yeah, that one. But this is the stupidest fucking thing. Why does she get this, but Melisande has this with a 30 battery and it's three full turns? Why is it Ibuki can't ever use this on her extra attack? Why is it that if you want to use Ibuki as a crit DPS, you get fucked over by this? Romulus, he can do pretty good damage, especially if you are a fan of Roma. But also, like, he makes his own niche. So that's always a plus. Bunny Toria is also now, like, I don't even think she's tertiary. I think she's, like, even further removed. Into like super niche of how you use her, but she is doing a lot better than she used to, and doubles down on the card mechanics. Next, for a lot of people, this is wife banner. Melisande, probably not so much if she wasn't that short. I don't think Melisande is a child because she doesn't fucking act like a child. It's like you're saying, like, does Melisande act like Ilya? Fuck no. Does Melisande act like Miyu. No. Does she act like Jack? No. She acts more like Umu. And I think they're around the same height, actually. Wait. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 4 centimeters. 147. Like, what is that? 4'11". And then 3 centimeters, an inch. She's an inch taller than Melisande, but Melisande is the one that gets called a child because her chest is small. Like that, okay, chat. I'm saying this as an actual adult that goes out and has a life. Some of my 5th grade students are either almost taller than me or taller than me, and I'm 5'9". I'm 5'9". Height does I live in America. Height does not necessarily mean you are a child or not. Me, it's like how someone acts over fucking anything. GSSR, yep, Valiant, shorter than me. I'm fairly short, like 5'2", 5'3". Yeah, no, one of the transfer students and like this kid, who I've watched growing up, I know he's going to be taller than me. This kid is like 5'6" at 11. He's at least 5'6", 5'7". Like, and I've seen his older brothers too. He's definitely gonna be growing up to be a tall one. Got the paid St. Courts today. Nice. Yeah, we just have to finish this and then I'm moving on. Like, also, just so you guys know, like on Twitch, like you guys are hearing the music. The music is not gonna be in the recording. Don't worry. But yeah, this is waifu banner. Morgan, both bitches. If you don't have Vitch, I would definitely say Paul on this one. You really are not going to be disappointed. Koyan Darkness, she has her uses. Don't expect her to be like competing with Cuckoo because she's not. That's not going to work. You're going to be very, very, very disappointed. Yeah, no, this is good banner. This is good banner. This one is slightly more niche, in the sense that Tonalico, hard to use. Tiamat, very easy to use, but you have to you definitely need Vitch and Oberon. But she can Black Rail Loop like Melisande, but unlike Melisande, like her kit is very fluid and you don't have to think that hard. But you could also stall out how you use her skills because of you mostly use her with Oberon in front, or you can use her with Oberon. Wait, yeah, no. You're supposed to use her with Oberon in front. So like she is harder to use than like Morgan, but you can Black Rail Loop with her, and like frontline bonus is a thing to get more bond points for Oberon. So if your Vitch is maxed out, now you can be doing that. Arc is Arc. Cuckoo is Cuckoo, and Cuckoo's probably Grand Foreigner on my main account. All 3 of these, especially with Append 5 coming out, are big PP damage. Very, very big PP Bustard farming damage. And with that, we got the females done. Okay, so kind of gonna run through the rest of this because I'm not used to talking this much. I'm definitely not used to talking this much on vacation. Because I'm out of practice with doing recordings. I'll be completely honest. I'm far out of practice. All right. So, yeah, they get another banner. If you want better odds of getting these 3 characters, here's your better odds. But you have to specifically be wanting to go for Tyra or Wangina. I still don't recommend Astolfo. Besides Astolfo being Astolfo, like I very much understand how popular Astolfo is, and he is one of the best trolls. That scene in Apocrypha is still like hilarious to me. Oh my god. But yeah, you're just pulling on here because you want the characters here for better odds. Here, like, Doman is in the same problem where, like, if you want Doman by himself, you need to be going for a different GSSR or just go for, like, summon for him in particular. I love Charlie. Like, he competes with Okita, but I think he's just better as a boss killer because his skill duration isn't 3 turns, it's based on a 5-turn duration. So, like, any amount of cooldown, and he will pretty much always have his super effective up and stacking it. Generically good. I like Voyager, but like, I rarely ever use him, and he does, if I remember right, he does have like refund problems, but he's still a foreigner. Pretty sure he gets existence outside the domain, so pretty much any character that has that turns into a crit servant easily. Dante's like this guy, very capable looper, but he's not standing out too much anymore. Don't have either of them, so be happy with either. Didn't have MP2 Arc. Yeah, no, MP2 Arc is good civ. Like, she feel like Tonalico, Arc, I'm blanking who else, but anyone else that has MP scaling based on how many copies you have, like, their super effective changes with MP copies, you're always going to want higher copies because, like, even the math for them is just different. Yeah, no, that that was me on JP, but I don't even remember if I tried for Arc, if I'm being completely honest. I probably didn't try that hard. But I might honestly do the cop out and pick this one because MP3 Cuckoo, MP2 Tonalico, or Arc. I don't know. I think I did go on this banner though 2 years ago. All right, moving on. We have was that 8? 8 banners left. No, this is 7. Okay, here. If you don't have the Cock Wizard, you probably should go here because all 4 of these characters are like good in their own right. Holmes, if you don't have someone that can force Invo Pierce, Defense Pierce, like he like, or you don't have Calamity Jane, like he is like he is good for the setup and just saves you so much trouble. Like, if you want to say fuck everything and just use Black Rail, you're going to want to bring Holmes because he lets you do that. Super Orion, he needs a little more setup, but, I mean, with all the card shenanigans we have now, you can make him do some really stupid shit. You can make him do some really stupid big PP damage with that CL tag out with BB. And then I already talked about Kishi Wong, but your odds here are the same as the other banner, so it's like pick and choose which one you actually want to go for. If you want him specifically, I would probably go here because like you'll be less disappointed. But these 3 in particular, still really good. They're just not as good as Castoria. This is probably going to be a skip for a lot of people. Ryoma does not have a good reception from people. He's doing a lot better with his buff, like his MP buff that gave him MP gen. And Muramasa also got buffed. Yeah, no, all 3 of these guys got buffed, right? Yeah, no, all 3 of them got buffed. Shit, I honestly forgot about this because I do not have Muramasa on JP. That he just get Omnicard buff. Yeah, all 3 of these have been buffed. They're better than what they were at this point in time on NA. So if you pull on here, you're like playing the long game and you're literally just waiting for them to get buffed because all 3 are pretty much waiting to get buffed. This one, they're doing this one for fun. These 2 are 2 of the biggest fan service male characters out there, Tez and Kirei, without a fucking doubt. In terms of recent servants, like these 2 stand out against like the crowd for being like just like. I was gonna say likable for Kirei, but let's not. We love that we love to hate him. We love to hate Kirei. We love it when Kirei is responsible for everything. But Tez is fucking awesome. If you don't like the artwork, I get it, but trust me, this character is so fucking good. And then Ptolemaeus, the more you know, like the better you are at using him, the better. Like this guy can be fun, but I don't have that much experience using him, so yeah, like just take what I say about him with a grain of salt. But these two specifically, man, are they fun. Here, Gramps, Moriarty, Kentoki, and Hijikata. Again, this is the male fan service, especially because these two are drawn by Raida. These are the two male fan service banner. This is the male fan service banner because just because of Raida. Yeah, like if I was lacking more of the characters, I probably would go here just to try to snipe Gramps, but I do not want MP2 for either one of these characters. I'm not willing to risk it. And I have Moriarty on another count. Like if I didn't get Moriarty on my ult on JP, I probably would consider this a little more. Fuck Sigurd. I hate this character. He needs like 2 more buffs. Like holy fucking shit. Please fucking buff this man. Oh my god. I'm not getting into this rant today. I can feel myself almost starting to lose my voice. We're not doing it. I already talked about him. Constantine. This is a big one for people after his recent buff, or not recent, but after his buff. Definitely incentive to get this character if you don't have him. Because he definitely like ups the amount of damage you can do for setups. Like for seeing big PP numbers on the screen. He overtakes what people used to use Himiko for. Is like basically you can swap Himiko and him. He gives more MP damage. She gives crit damage, but their MPs are very similar. Shit, I've gotta be responding to these messages soon. I'm glad I'm almost done. OG fan service. If you're a fan of other Fate series, you're gonna pull on this banner. And then Ivan's here too because he's here. Arthur, Gil, Iskandar, Amakusa. Amakusa has been buffed in a while. These two, I think, got buffed. I think all 4 of them got buffed recently. Like Gil hasn't gotten a buff since the first skill buff, but listen, we're finally getting Strange Fake. I would not be surprised if they decided to throw him another buff and buff Golden Rule, because now it's actually going to be coming out for real. Arthur, I think, got his anti-giant, so he can do buster farming. And last, Oberon is here, and so is Juna. If you don't have Oberon, I don't know if you're actually going to be happy pulling on this banner. I think if you need Oberon, you are going to be extremely disappointed if you don't get him on this banner. So for this one, again, it's hard. It's really hard for me to recommend it. When this is like slightly difficult to like value. All right, so this is an hour of me fucking yapping. So what banner are you guys actually gonna see me pull on? I'm really looking for new characters, but at this current point in time, I'm looking for characters I have never had at all. And over the years, trying to pull on banners like that has increasingly gotten harder because I can tell you straight up what characters I have never had. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys seeing the problem here? Like, I just got Romulus, so I can't, like, he would have been the one I would have been going for. Like, I probably would have been willing to go on this one or this one for him, but I got Takeda Shingen and, like, Romulus extremely recently. 4, 5. 5 characters here I do not have. Can't pull on here. I would be fuming if I got MP6 Gil. I would be fuming if I got my first USO from this. I really don't want to get these characters again. I'll be honest, I'm probably just gonna pick this one as a cop out because I'm really not the biggest fan of this GSSR. I think the banners are just too condensed, and it gives too many characters like not enough room to breathe. Like, there are too many 5s here and not enough sets of 3. So I probably am just gonna take the cop out and pick this banner, and either get MP3 Cuckoo, which again, that's the 120 number for me, MP3 with 3 appends, or Tonalico for MP2. I forget if on NA. Oh shit! I forget if on NA, I have Tiamata MP2 or MP1. I haven't used her in forever. But let's be honest, I'm probably gonna get Arquid from it. I wouldn't be hating because I do love Arquid. I'm just trying to be realistic. All right. This should be going up on the 30th. No, Romulus. Romulus is on JP. Romulus I sniped on my main account. I don't have him on NA. But yeah, after I actually get every character, I'll really start trying to get every character on the NA account. Like over time. All right. Peace.
Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.